Hello, everyone. It's episode 40 of the Break-Thru Active podcast. I apologize. Mitch apologized. It's been a while. We just had a crazy start to the year, having our beginner challenges at Cardiff and Adamstown. So this is long overdue, and we're going to get back to regular recording. As always, Mitch, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Looking forward to getting back into some weekly podcasts. Like Jamie mentioned, we have had a lot on the last probably 2 months with our Cardiff and Adamstown challenges, but we have been able to free up a little bit of time. So we're going to definitely commit to this being once a week, like it was before, for the ongoing future. So looking forward to it.
We've got more big news. Break-Thru Bootcamp Wall's End back. It's triumphant return, not far away.
Yeah, 1 year since we made to close that one down. We've been talking and discussing that the last couple of weeks, or probably the last month or two, and finally decided on a date here, April the 19th. Once school holidays is done, we're going to be back in the Walls End Pioneer Hall, just like we were back at the beginning of 2018. So we're excited for that, and hopefully excited to get some of our old members back that unfortunately had to leave us when we closed that one down this time last year.
Yeah, and because it's a government hall, it was very difficult for us to book that hall again. But now, as weeks pass and restrictions continue to lift, hopefully we're getting closer and closer to normality in regards to COVID being well and truly behind us. At least in Australia, we have been very lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking about this with, I think it was Steve the other day, or Brody, or maybe it was both of them, and just saying how fortunate we are here in the Newcastle area, but just in Australia as a whole. Compared to some other countries in the world like the US and the UK, who are still doing it very hard, and there's lots of masks being worn and lots of restrictions being in place, lockdowns, and businesses being shut. So we've been extremely fortunate here, and it's always important to remember that when we are complaining about certain things. But as far as it looks here in this region, it's all systems go. So like Jamie said, we have been able to secure a booking in the hall again after being unable to for a little while. So yeah, very much looking forward to getting that one up and running again and getting some boot camp sessions back in action.
All right, enough waffling on for both of us. Our goal of the podcast is to educate you, try and entertain you, and keep these short and sweet. So today we're going to discuss something that we're asked very, very often, and that is our 3 favorite foods for fat loss, or our 3 go-to meals for fat loss. And I guess before we talk about this, to create fat loss, you need to be in a calorie deficit. So the meals that we've chosen are low calorie, high nutrients, and can definitely help you aid fat loss and do it in a healthy way.
Yeah, when we talk about best meals or our favorite meals for fat loss, it doesn't mean that you eat them and you're going to lose fat, but they are generally lower calorie options, and like Jamie mentioned, they are nutrient dense. So they are great options for people who may be looking to monitor or control their calorie intake, or furthermore looking to operate in a calorie deficit where they're looking to lose some body fat. So we picked our 3 favorites between us, and I'm going to share those with you today.
Now, the number 1 is the best example of what you just mentioned. So these foods won't make you lose body fat. But if you have this meal, if you drink this shake, it is very, very, very hard to overeat because it is so enormous. We've had them for years now. It is variations of a protein smoothie. So my number 1 go-to would be a scoop of protein powder, usually vanilla, 1 banana, and half a bag of baby spinach. How many grams is that, Mitch? I don't even know, just half a bag.
I think the big bag's like 280, so half would be about 140.
So 140 grams of spinach, 1 scoop of protein powder. They're all very similar. And 1 banana. It's about 220 calories, 230 calories, and it makes 1.2 liters of green, tasty liquid.
How much water do you put with that?
I don't know. It just the blender's overflowing.
Yeah. Well, I have to choose my blender wisely. I had one that was a little bit smaller for a while, and it was always getting clogged. So I always try and get the biggest one possible. But it's great for hydration as well. If you are having it with water, it does probably, I'd be guessing it's probably 3/4 of a litre or close to it, 750 mils. Like if you've got that much stuff in it, you need obviously enough water to be able to get it to all mix. But like Jamie mentioned, having it with spinach and banana, but the options are endless when it comes to this. Having any of those frozen berries as well. There's some things that are very high in nutrients and good from the calorie standpoint. But we both like spinach in a sense that it does help us get more of our greens in. It's probably something that we both do find difficult when it comes to getting enough vegetables in and green stuff. So having it in the blender and in smoothie, the smoothie option, we find that to be easier for us to be able to get it down. But I've had mine with chocolate powder as well.
Yeah.
Have you had chocolate with that before?
Salted caramel, chocolate, any flavour goes in there, it's fine.
Yeah, and I also like to add a bit of ice just to thicken it up a little bit. Yeah. But it's great to have. I mean, obviously the one that a lot of people have is with breakfast, but you can have it at any time of the day. Really, you could have it in the afternoon between your lunch and dinner. I wouldn't ever encourage people to have it instead of lunch or dinner, but breakfast or in the afternoon, I think it's a pretty good option.
Yeah, and it just ticks all the boxes. You're getting a bunch of antioxidants, vitamins and minerals from the spinach and banana. You're reaching your daily protein intake goal, which we've discussed many times, and you're getting hydrated. And considering it's 230 to 250 calories, that will keep you full for a long period of time, as opposed to having 3 Tim Tams, which would be a similar level of calories. So it is not a fat burning food. No foods help you burn fat. But when you hear about things like that, it's more, these foods would definitely help you stay in a calorie deficit, as that smoothie is going to keep you much more satiated, as opposed to having 3 Tim Tams or 6 pieces of chocolate or a bag of twisties or the other 50 things that you might be having for a snack.
When I have it in the fridge, I'll sometimes have that with unsweetened almond milk as well, which is about 40 calories every 250 ml.
Yeah.
So I'll have a cup of that, and then if I need some more liquid, I'll fill up the rest with water. But when you're looking at it from a calorie standpoint, maybe 250, 300 calories, and you get this massive shake that it takes me ages to drink it. Like I can't gulp it down. Like I'm sitting there slugging away at it, as opposed to how easily you can put away a couple of bits of chocolate or a pack of chips or some, biscuits and cheese or whatever it may be. And it just keeps you full. It'll keep you full for hours. And not only that, it gets you a really good chunk of protein and all those nutrients and vitamins that you might be lacking too.
All right. So food number 1, a variation of a protein smoothie. The only thing I'd be mindful of is, like, peanut butter is great. It's good for you, but it is high in calories. So be mindful of peanut butter. It's one that people do overeat in smoothies. But other than that, any kind of fruit combination, go for your life.
Now, anything that is higher in fat. So I know some people may add some sort of like flaxseed and things like that. And I know, or even maybe some sort of like avocado or coconut oil or something. I've seen that like in some shakes. So just be mindful of that. So if you're adding anything with fat, then definitely limit that. Otherwise, your calories will add up pretty quick.
Yeah, option 2, I've got no idea about, but I know it's been a staple for you for a long period of time. I do eat it with one other special meal, protein pancakes. But what is option 2, mate?
Yeah, so option 2, cottage cheese. So it's something that elicits one of 2 responses. It's what Jamie just said there, where he can't stand the thought of it, and then you've got other people who probably have it quite regularly and enjoy it. And I have it in a few different ways. You can have it just by itself, believe it or not, just eating it like you would eat yogurt. You can mix fruit in with it, so you can cut up some apple or cut up some strawberries or fresh blueberries or banana or pretty much anything and mix that in with it. You can have it on like Cruskets or like corn thins or something like that, where you kind of use it as a spread. Or you could have it as a dip, if you are someone who eats carrot sticks or celery sticks or something like that. So it is very high in protein. I think for every 100 grams, you're looking at like 13 or 14 grams of protein.
And so how many calories for 100 grams?
I think like 80.
And that would be a serving size for you? Is that?
No, probably more like for me. You think about like a Chobani yogurt, I think that's about 100.
Okay.
So if you want, it's probably about on par with that, but I would normally have probably maybe 150, a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, super low in sugar, low in fat. So all the protein is pretty much made up of in protein. And I just like it because you can have it in so many different ways. Obviously, if you have any issues with processing lactose, then it's not going to be great for you. But I just like that you can have it in so many different forms. I'll have it with fruit sometimes. Occasionally, I'll have it with a little bit of peanut butter. Or if I have some corn thins at home, I'll spread it on that. I know it mixes well in pancakes. That's our old recipe that we've used for a very long time. But I find it to be quite filling as well. So sometimes that will be something that I have after dinner. Like if I have dinner at say 6:30 and I'm a bit hungry come 8 o'clock, I'll have a little bit of that to finish off the day. And I find if I have that with maybe a little bit of fruit or something, then it does just fill me up for the remainder of the night before I go to bed. But like I said, it's something that a lot of people will scoff at or just completely disregard. And then when they've actually tried it, they enjoy it and find that it is something that they like and continue to eat. So I do encourage you, if you haven't before, just to buy a tub and try it out. Like I said, you can have it a few different ways and see if you like it.
There's a few different options. What is the option that we used to get for our pancakes? Was it 99% fat free? What was the?
They're pretty similar. Like there are a few different brands. Like there's a Coles brand that is light, and then there's I think like a Buller one, the brand Buller.
Yeah, the blue and white one.
Yeah, that one's quite nice. I like the texture of that one, and it's much for muchness in terms of sugar or fat or whatever. So whatever one you prefer. I like the Buller one because it's a little bit runnier as opposed to the Coles one's pretty solid. But try it out. Like I said, yeah, buy that. Have it with some Cruskits or some corn thins. Try it with a little bit of fruit. Try it on maybe with some crackers, or if you do enjoy having carrot or celery, you can use it as a dip. It just gets used so many different ways. And I find for a lot of people, if they haven't tried it, once they start eating, then they've always got some in their fridge and can have it whenever they feel like they need a bit of a snack.
Awesome. Now, option 3. Now, this is a big one for us because it's this food or food group, people think it leads to weight gain or fat gain because it's high in sugar. But it's just not true. So number 3 is so simple. It is just fruit in general. The majority of pieces of fruit, whether it's an apple, banana, pear, orange, mango, all very tasty, all very nutritious, all very high in vitamins and minerals. They're all around 100 calories per piece or per serve. And you just can't beat that. Like, for example, you could have like 5 Wheat Bix and milk for 350 calories, or you can have 3.5 pieces of fruit. Like it's really, really, really good. It's really filling. It's really tasty.
Yeah, and I think it's so easy as well.
Yeah.
Like you talk about Wheat Bix with milk, you can't have that in the car or on the run. Like it is so easy just to have with you, whether it is what you take to work or just having your handbag if you're out and about. And there are so many different choices. It's not like you're going to get sick of just eating fruit because Jamie just rattled off 5 or 6 of them then, and there's probably another 10 or 15 that you can find at Coles. And although they do have they are predominantly sugar, like natural sugars, it's a lot of that. I mean, that is pretty much making up the whole calorie intake of what the fruit is. So it's got a lot of nutrients. It's got a lot of fiber, which is really important for how your body processes food, and just a lot of those nutrients that you otherwise would be missing. So
especially for me, not being a massive eater of vegetables, I do try and get a lot of my vitamins and minerals from fruit.
Yeah, exactly. And whether it be frozen or fresh, I mean, not much difference. I mean, obviously, if you're mixing things in with smoothies, then frozen is as good as fresh. I mean, you're not going to have frozen ones, just if you're carrying them around. But, we always encourage people to try a variety of fruits and have that on hand, because we feel like a lot of the bad decisions that people make with food is because they don't have anything else to pick. And if they have fruit at home and they had something else that maybe is a little more delicious, then they might still choose the fruit because it's on hand. So it's cheap, it's easy, it's quick. You can get plenty of it and have it last. So we are huge advocates for fruit intake. And I guess some of that media that you hear that it is, bad for you because it's a lot of sugar, like it's something that you just need to overlook and really disregard, because although it does have natural sugars in it, it still is very good in terms of your calories, and the sugar that you do have is contested with all of the vitamins and minerals you get. So it's something you just really don't need to worry about.
Yeah, and sugar on its own isn't bad. It's sugar in excess.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have 30 pieces of fruit, it's about 3,000 calories, you're going to put on weight. So if you have one piece of fruit, 100 calories, 10 grams of sugar in your overall food plan, and most people are around that 2,000 to 2,500 calorie per day mark. You have our protein smoothie for 250. If you have Mitch's cottage cheese recipe and you have 2 pieces of fruit, that's a lot of food, and that's about 600 calories of that total intake of 2,200. So that is your whole point of this conversation. Like, choose the foods that we have chosen are high in protein, full of vitamins and minerals, low calorie, high nutrients, and they're all easy and very easy to put in your diet on a regular basis.
Yeah, I guess we want you just to get good bang for your buck when it comes to food, because you can, like Jamie said, you can look at 3 pieces of fruit for 300 calories, or a massive smoothie for 300 calories, or you can look at 3 Tim Tams, and you can eat the 3 Tim Tams in 6 bites and in about probably a minute, or it's going to take you a good amount of time to eat those other things, and you'll fill up before you probably finish it. And that's what you want out of your food. You want things to be filling, so you're not going back to the fridge or the pantry for something extra.
And the problem isn't the 3 Tim Tams, it's the 6 remaining in the packet. And I know there's 9 in the packet because I've eaten 9 many times. So like part of losing fat, part of going to the gym regularly is just setting yourself up for success and just controlling your environment.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where, going off our last point there, fruit's such a great option because it is so easy to have that in your environment, whether it is at home, whether it is when you're at work or when you're out. Or I'm sure a lot of you guys feed your kids fruit as well for the exact same reason. So sometimes you do need to just practice what we preach. And if you're feeding your kids fruit because you want them to be healthy, then you should do the same, because it is a great option for people, whether you are 5 or you are 45.
And even better, even like the most convenient store on earth, petrol stations, you get petrol, you grab a chocolate bar. 99% of petrol stations, they actually sell fuel. Like, they have bananas or oranges on the counter.
Sell fruit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Just about $2 an apple. That's why no one buys them.
Yeah, I know. And the big slurp from 7-Eleven's $1.
Yeah, well, that might be the only, you get two apples for $3.
We'll wrap this up, mate. We're going to keep it short and sweet. So we're back recording more regularly on a consistent basis, and we will be asking our members for topics throughout the week. Fat loss is a popular one, which is why we speak about it a lot, because the majority of our questions we get are just around like nutrition and fat loss and how do we make it easy.
Yeah, exactly. So just to cap it off before we head off, 3 foods to help with fat loss: fruit smoothies, cottage cheese, and then any type of fruit.
Sounds good. All right, mate. Thank you for listening. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely, lovely day.
Thanks, guys.